So the first tip goes counterintuitive to every financial planner out there. I understand I'm sitting alone by saying this. So it's pretty obvious out there right now what's happened in the last year. The economy is down or slowing. Stocks are down significantly. All those hype stocks, all those high-flying companies, all that crypto that were guaranteed to go to the moon have all of a sudden plummeted upwards of 90 to 95%. It's very possible that you watching have invested in them, and it's quite scary to see your account fall closer to zero as time goes on without knowing when it will stop. At the same time, interest rates keep going up and intend on going up for the foreseeable future, and it's making it harder for people to buy homes, which is why we've seen a decrease in home buying activity in the last year. Times like this can be scary. I've been there. But the good news is it can help you change the way in which you think about investing in money. You probably clicked on this video because you wanted to make some changes. And the great news is you're already on that path just by clicking on the video, and you want to change things and get a plan for action. And that is way more than the vast majority of the public is going to do. So in this video, we're going to give you 5 simple money managing tips in any market, up or down, but especially relevant now because it can be scary watching your money decrease. So I've been in your shoes. When I was there, it was very overwhelming and very daunting. And it can be that way, and I don't blame you at all. It can take some work at the very beginning. But with that said, let's get into the first game changer. So the first tip goes counterintuitive to every financial planner out there. I understand I'm sitting alone by saying this. I'm adamantly against rainy day funds, and here's why. Most rainy day funds will say, hey, save 6 months of your expenses. Guys, how long does it take to save 6 months of your expenses? It might take a couple of years. And if you do that, you're taking money out of your retirement account at exactly the worst time. It's been proven that time and time again, you need to get money in as early as possible. So if you end up spending 2, 3, 4 years to build up the 6-month expense account, you're taking money out of the 3 or 4 most important years of your life. So you want to have that rainy day fund. My suggestion is credit card. I know everybody's against credit cards, but I'm not saying to use the credit card as a way to live your life and carry balance. It's for emergency use only. In addition, when you put money into your retirement accounts, into your IRA or 401k, in most circumstances, it's untouchable by creditors. So let's say you have that worst case event occur and you have that emergency and you got to swipe that credit card. And let's say, God forbid, it's a medical emergency and you have to declare bankruptcy at some point in the future. Your 401k won't be touched, your IRA won't be touched, and your credit card will be wiped out. Again, I'm not encouraging you to defraud. I'm not saying this is fraud. What I'm saying is use credit cards as your emergency fund. Make sure your retirement accounts are filled as soon as possible. And this goes against everything that financial advisors say because they love telling people to have an emergency fund. And the other thing is the chances of you ever needing that money are very slim. That's the big key here.
The second money managing habit is saving. That's very vague. What exactly does that mean? When we talk about saving, we talk about taking the same percentage month in, month out of your paycheck and consistently doing that over a very long period of time. At a minimum, you should be saving 10% of your income per year. And as your salary goes up, your savings needs to follow that. Something that is so important here is the consistency. And I mentioned it previously. You need to consistently, month in, month out, year in, year out, continue to contribute. Never feel like you have enough. The earlier you start and the more you save early on, the much happier you will be long-term. You'll be able to set up your family. You'll be able to set up your children and create some type of legacy.
And this leads to point number 3. Put your money into any retirement account you can. These are tax-free. Most of them allow you to put the money in pre-tax, so you're already getting the benefit of putting pre-tax dollars in, and you'll pay the tax at the very end when you start to retire. So when it comes to your 401k, most employers will offer a match, and the biggest mistake that employees make is if the employer offers a 3% match 100% up to 3%, they'll stop there. No, your 401k contribution is still deductible up to a certain limit. I think this year it's gonna be $22,500. Just because your employer is only gonna match $3,000 of that doesn't mean you should stop at $3,000. Max that out as much as you can. Let the government give you that free loan for decades to run and have your money grow tax-free, compounding itself for decades to come. Now, finally, when you've maxed out all your tax-deductible savings accounts, go start your own brokerage account and start saving on the side. Now, what should you do with that money that's invested in the new brokerage account? We are very, very clear that it is best to follow the market. And the best way to follow the market is low-cost, market-based ETFs, things like SPY, VOO. These are low-cost, very low fees, and it's been proven time and again that actively managed mutual funds trail the market before fees by about 1% per year. If you buy those SPY and VOO low-cost ETFs, you're basically going to match the market every single year and not to think about who you're investing in and why. You're investing in the top 500 companies in the United States at all times. Now, I want to get back to the mutual funds. Everyone thinks that these guys running the mutual funds are these brilliant people with MBAs, and they are very smart. But the important part you have to remember is successful investing is not about intelligence. It's about temperament. And those guys all have career risk. What I mean by that is, in order to beat the market, you have to think differently. And everyone's going to say they think differently, but they don't. They just want to stay just close enough to the market to justify their fees. So it's gone back in history and they've done studies. And the average mutual fund trails the market by 1% per year. Then you take off their fees of about 1% a year. So you're trailing the market by 2% per year. And over a 30 or 40 year basis, that will cause you to lose out on multiple times your money. That is the big scary part. In our retirement calculator on our software, you can see, based on your time frame, how much a 2% drop changes your entire investment outcome, that you only paid some guy to get rich and for you to underperform when you could have easily just bought a low-cost ETF like SPY and VOO.
Speaking of managing money, this is going to be the most hands-on approach that you are going to take, and that is number 4, budgeting. Take the time to write this out. When I go and teach high school kids, this is the number one thing that I talk to them about. Look at how much money is coming in and look at how much money is coming out. If you have a car payment, a mortgage, groceries, hospital bills, anything like that, that needs to be put on paper. The smallest thing going out and the smallest thing coming in, you need to keep track of those. The sooner you get to managing your income, the closer you're going to be to financial freedom. We've created a template that you can use to manage your expenses and manage your budget completely free of charge. Download that budget template via the link in the description below. And here is the final money managing habit. This one directly ties into your budget. Do not deprive yourself.
So when you're doing this budget, the most important thing I tell people is don't make the budget to deprive yourself of life. You still want to live life, but you have to do this healthy balance of saving for the future and living today. Don't suffocate yourself now saying, I've got to save, because the biggest issue you're going to have is if you oversave and you don't spend any money now, when it comes to retirement, that isn't going to change. And vice versa. If you spend everything today, when you go to retirement, you actually won't even be able to spend any money because you won't have any. So it's important to keep that healthy balance of saving and spending. I do believe you should save first, but you have extra income. As much as I want you to save more, still enjoy life, because you're going to be working for 30 or 40 years. So still continue to enjoy life. Your income's going to increase. Don't deprive yourself, and then you end up having a bad relationship with money. That's the last thing you want to do. Think of it like losing weight or working out. If you go into it hardcore, buy the book 100%, you're more likely to fizzle out. It's not going to work that way. You need to figure out a sustainable way of saving money and enjoying life. Just like when you work out and you want to lose weight, you don't sit there and go completely clean on your eating and work out for 2 hours a day for the rest of the time. Pick a way that manages both very well. Allow yourself to be able to enjoy life with eating, enjoy life with activities that aren't working out, and the same with money. You've got to be able to enjoy traveling, buying yourself a nice house, car, etc. But remember, pay yourself first. That means saving first. And then from there, do what you want. The best time to start something is 10 years ago. The second best is now. And it's a quote from Ryan Holiday, and it's been used in the past, but you have to remember, we all wish we'd done things 10 years ago. I think that today, I'm like, man, I wish I'd done this 10 years ago. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I did 10 years ago or what I did not do 10 years ago. What matters is what I'm doing today, right now. If you're young and you're watching this video, start saving today. Trust me when I say you will not regret it. The most important part about saving is starting early. You can do worse than investing, but as long as you start earlier, you will end up with the outcome you want. If you're starting later, it's better to start today than 10 years from now. Start today. Just figure out your budget, max out how much you can save, and go from there. Small deeds, small habits, small accomplishments. These are the most important part about hitting this future goal, this future retirement goal. If you read James Clear's Atomic Habits, which we encourage everyone to read, it changed our lives. It focused on doing the small things today that lead to the big outcomes in the future. As simple as, do you want to save $10,000 a year? It's $30 a day. If I told you to save $30 a day, you'd say, yeah, of course I could do that. If I told you to save $10,000 a year, you might be like, oh boy, that might be a little difficult. But every big goal has an atomic habit to it. And that's what you need to do. You need to figure out what's the best way for you to hit your long-term goals by breaking it up into small and small deeds, habits, actions, etc. That will lead to the big results you want in the future. It's been proven time and time again. And it's what we focus on when it comes to mindset on this channel. There are 3 things that you absolutely need in order to be a successful investor: the proper mindset, the proper emotion, and the proper process. Which ones are the most important?